so I'm wondering like how you have seen confidence building happen through coaching in your life and your profession.
Actually, it's one of the biggest things that come up with some of the work that I do. I run a lot of women in leadership programs, and actually the program premise and the foundations of that work is, we call it Leadership Starts with Self. So in that program, we spent a good chunk of time having a look at understanding yourself, and we have great tools at Coach Training EDU, and some of those are used in the programs, you know, even having a look at starting with the wheel of life. You know, people often forget to have a look at how they are distributing their time. You know, time and productivity comes up a lot for leaders. Fear of influence comes up a lot. Confidence comes up a lot. The difference between management and leadership comes up a lot. And when I'm working, I do work with men as well, but big theme is around confidence. And I think some of the work that we're doing when we look at understanding yourself better, things like the wheel of life, core motivation or personality assessments, the inner critic or imposter syndrome is a huge one. And that's some of the work that I did when I was looking at limiting beliefs. But I think when we are looking at the self-awareness and self-regulation, and you connect that with confidence, the more you understand what your values are, and you talked about ikigai as well, and what your purpose and passion is, I think it's easier for people to feel rooted in themselves. Some of the work that I look at as well is that confidence comes from self-trust and knowing yourself better, and knowing the things that, for me, my values are so important. I did a presentation a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about leadership starts with self, how that connects to confidence. And I was encouraging people in that to really have a look at their values and using that values as an inner compass. So for me, my inner compass, I say I like to lead with love. And that is love spelled L-U-V. That is to listen, to understand, and to value. And when I can hold myself accountable to that, then I know not only am I being true to myself, but it helps me to trust in myself. And the knock-on effect is less fear. I'm not saying it's no fear, because inner critic is active quite a lot. What are your thoughts on that, Britt, as I'm sharing some of those examples and ideas?
Yeah, I think I love what you're saying, you know, about, especially about how confidence plays with fear. That, and honestly, part of me feels like fear, it shouldn't necessarily always go away, like completely. There's some value to fear. It helps us understand ourselves even better. Like, what is the fear? Where is it coming from? And why is it present? But yeah, I think everything that you're saying really resonates with me too. And I think about, again, from an academic standpoint, working with students, or, you know, honestly, even sometimes with my writing clients, you know, I think about where they started. As far as my writing clients actually are probably the better example here. You know, when they were very shy, at the very beginning, they're very shy about expressing their ideas to me. And, you know, even something as simple as that, like, they've hired me to help them write this thing that they have these ideas for, but they're very shy about holding on to their ideas. It's not because they don't trust me, but it's like they don't want to be judged. But as we do the coaching, my coaching with writing isn't just solely focused on their writing. We talk about other things as it relates. And after a few sessions, it's so great to feel them warm up and grow that confidence in their own ideas. And I think what happens is, you know, in life, so often, everybody feels that fear, that hesitation to share pieces of who they are. And when you have a coach who's invested in learning about who you are, it's literally our job as a coach to be the student of our clients. It gives us permission, you know, as the client, to open up and be ourselves. And in doing so with our coach, allows us to then do so outside of coaching as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I think as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about, it's also applying meaning, isn't it? In terms of, what does confidence mean to you? Because it might mean something different to you than what it means to somebody else. And I think that the whole coaching process itself is it could be a great conversation, but it's beyond that, isn't it? We have a process that's built in where, yes, you're doing exploration and you might be thinking, well, what does confidence mean to me? Or what does it look like? Or what is getting in the way of that confidence? But our role as coaches is to hold that mirror up, is to shine a light on the things that an individual might not be seeing. And we all have those things that get in our way. Sometimes we don't see them. A coach might have to use direct communication, or sometimes we're stuck in that mud and we're not necessarily being an active player in our life, or it's serving a benefit to us to be in that place. And I think that coaching process allows, that kind of digging out some of those things, but champion and challenge. And often when I'm working with my clients, I am championing them to try something different out of their comfort zone, perhaps be the first or second person to speak in a meeting and go away and try things and form new habits. And I think as we discover more about ourselves and we attempt different routes and pathways and we create new habits, it in turn changes that perspective and identity of self, which contributes to confidence.
Yeah, and I think what I'm hearing you say now too, and as I'm thinking about the process, building self-awareness, building confidence, those aren't always necessarily like easy processes, right? People start to feel critical of themselves. You have to work through the criticism of yourself. You have to work through your own self-judgment. You have to work through your inner critic, your limiting beliefs, negative perspectives, all of these things. It's work. It's hard work. And what that reminds me of is not the last thing, sorry, there's lots of benefits, but one of the key findings in the research is that coaching builds resilience.